So I'm going to rename this left cut rest. And I'm going to right click and duplicate this. Go ahead, go to edit. We're going to change our geometry. I'm going to hold my Alt key down. And I'm going to click OK. So I now have this toolpath right here. I'll go ahead and rename this. Right cut rest. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this to template. So we'll go to store as template. We'll double check everything. One thing, when it comes up, I need to make sure I clear my clamp. As you can see, it comes up to 0.6, so let's go ahead. That should be good. We'll go ahead and hit save. Alright, so it looks good. Alright, so I'm going to go to my bottom plate now. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to change the orientation. We'll go to manufacture. We'll go to setup. Stock. 0. Now I could define my stock. This is much simpler. We're going to go ahead and select our orientation. We'll do select Z-axis with X. I'm going to click my face, be my Z. We'll flip to X. And we'll select our origin from model box point. And I'm going to select this as my model box point. Let's go ahead and click OK. I'm going to rename this op1. Hit save. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create from template. So I have my left cut. Bring this down. Right cut. We'll go ahead and do our pockets. I'll duplicate this 3 times. Go ahead and duplicate my cut rest. Get my center drill and my drill. Let's go ahead and hit save. Alright, so let's start off in the left cut. I'm going to go to edit, go to my geometry, hold my Alt key down and select the chain of geometry that I want. Hit OK. So I got something that looks like this. We'll go ahead and do the right cut. So I'm going to right click, go to edit, go to my geometry, hold my Alt key down, select the geometry that I want to cut. We'll go ahead and do our pocket. Go to geometry. Select the geometry I want to use. Make sure. Does it look right? Yeah. Looks good. Make sure that I'm actually having a spiral in. Let's change this. I want to have a ramp. Also, one thing I left off, I wanted to go a little bit deeper, so let's change our depth. It's going 1/4 inch. Now this stock material is actually 0.2, alright? So it doesn't actually show the tool going through, but it is. We'll change the model. There's a little change we need to make. In my left pocket. Now since I changed have it where it spiraled down into like a helical lead-in, I went ahead and deleted the other 2 pockets, and I'm just going to duplicate these. We'll rename them. Select the geometry I want to use. I want to check something. Looks good. I'm going to put it in front view. I'm going to change my geometry here on my left cut rest. Add something like that. We'll go ahead and rename this one. I'm going to go ahead and select my holes. Gonna make sure it's clear my clamps, and it should. You can see the yellow line goes up to 0.6. Looks good. And we'll go ahead and save it. Alright, so we changed the design a little bit of the model. Originally, Maker Mike designed it to be a 1/4 inch thick plate. Now, I only have 0.2 thick plate. So, basically, what we're going to do, we're going to go back to the model and we're going to modify it. So, we're going to modify millimeter. Now, I'm in millimeters right now, so I'm going to change my document settings to inches. We'll go to modify and let's go ahead and measure it, make sure we got the right height, 0.2. So the plate I have is 0.2 thick. I think it's actually supposed to be 5 millimeter, but for some reason it's a few thousandths thicker than 5 millimeter. Another problem that I'm going to have is he designed this with a 0.118 diameter radius. So one problem I have is basically I only have an 1/8 inch end mill. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do this. One way, let's go ahead and save this. One way is actually go into modify and modify each one of these surfaces, which can be kind of a pain. Another way to do this, which I think is the easiest way, is I'm going to go to sketch and I'm going to go to offset. Now it's 0.118 and I have an 1/8 inch end mill, but I need some kind of room to actually move it around. I may have, if I make it exactly an 1/8 inch and use an 1/8 inch end mill, it's going to throw up warnings, and I might have a little trouble getting a toolpath because basically there'll be a little conflict with like lead in and actual step over. So what I'm going to do is we're gonna lie to the software. Actually, we're not going to lie, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to tell it to be 0.127. So that's 9 thousandths. So per a side, that'll be 4.5 thousandths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to offset. We'll click our plane and I'm going to offset this, select the side. I'm just going to make it even 5 thousandths. Make sure it's right. So I have that. I'm going to hit O for offset.